Hello, my name is Philip Totaro. I'm the founder and CEO of market research firm IntelStor. Welcome to your weekly dose of truth to power. Truth to Power examines data driven insights for the energy sector with a focus on renewables. On this week's episode, we're looking at the feed in tariffs, public finance, and capital efficiency of offshore wind energy from the IntelStor Future of Renewables report. The levelized cost of energy for offshore wind has shown some aggressive cost reductions over the past 25 years that are prevalent in solar PV and onshore wind as well. While this can be attributed in part to the economies of scale achieved from deploying almost 100 gigawatts of capacity, there's a reduction of more than 50% in the past 15 years alone. More recently, the average cost of energy has gone well below $100 a megawatt hour, partly driven by China removing federal subsidies in 2021 and setting the technology on a course for what they call cost parity with coal, as well as onshore wind and solar PV in their electricity markets. Offshore wind has the potential to achieve a levelized cost of energy that would be within 25 to 35% to that of onshore wind with continued scale. This will be mainly due to further improvements in construction techniques that can lower the capex cost as well as better operations and maintenance practices. Feed-in tariff data is unfortunately not available from OECD specifically for offshore wind plants, presumably due to the small market size globally. We will endeavor to obtain that information for future reports, but we do have comprehensive power purchase agreement and cost of energy benchmarking data. Annual public investment for offshore wind has been spent almost entirely on project development, and until recently, almost exclusively in Europe. Annual funding is used in support of project construction and operation via loans and grants paid to the project developers or through a public private partnership, which can help reduce the upfront capital burden for a relatively new industry. Nevertheless, it's a challenge to predict what the evolution of public finance will be for offshore wind. While project developers are still seeking the support from governments, public finance is traditionally used as a mechanism to support a fledgling industry until private finance takes over and funds projects based purely on profitability. Given the scale which the industry's already achieved and the projections that we have in place, it's curious that substantial additional investment would be allocated for project developments in established regions within Europe and Asia. It's plausible that future developments in the Americas or even Africa and the Middle East would benefit from some allocation of public finance. So we would expect to see funding shift from Europe to newer countries which are at the beginning of their journey to add capacity. That would include markets like Brazil. Additional opportunities for funding in emerging Asian markets, such as countries like the Philippines, would be more likely moving forward. The total public investment made in the past 25 years is just $22.2 billion, with the overwhelming majority going to Europe and the remainder being allocated to the Asia Pacific region. No public funding offered through the World Bank or IMF is given out to the USA since it's one of the founding members and contributors to these international finance mechanisms, and they're not actually eligible to receive contributions back from them. For the limited funding provided to the Asia Pacific region, the capital efficiency of $16,000 per installed megawatt is extremely good amongst all the renewable energy technologies. However, this may be a bit of a misnomer due to the significant scale of capacity in China, which did not have the benefit of public finance hardly at all. In Europe, the capital efficiency has been somewhat poor when compared to other renewable energy technologies at $532,000 per installed megawatt. Now, I use this phrase somewhat poor a little loosely, considering, as I've talked before, capital efficiency is really about how much public finance is being leveraged versus private finance as a mechanism to de-risk a technology. So a quote-unquote poor capital efficiency just means that you're leveraging more public money than private money at this point in time. These figures that we've analyzed indicate the significant leverage that public finance has provided to build the existing capacity and provides evidence in the argument of why Europe can potentially afford lower subsidies and a smaller amount of public funding to achieve their goals. Offshore wind's a largely bankable technology. Other regions of the world have been able to make do with less, and while a completely subsidy-free environment in Europe would not be recommended at this time, it should be possible to significantly reduce reliance on public funding without compromising the build-out of new capacity. Thank you for joining me this week. I'm Philip Totaro, and this has been your weekly dose of Truth to Power. We'll have more to come from this IntelStor exclusive report, The Future of Renewables, next time on Truth to Power, including a look at the installed capacity and global region market share of chemical heat and hydrogen. In the meantime, you can follow us on IntelStor's YouTube channel as well as your favorite audio platforms. And visit www.intelstor.com to join more than 400,000 subscribers to our renewable energy data solutions. We're adding subscribers faster than ever, so don't miss out. Register today. A full analysis of the global renewable energy market is available to online subscribers of this new exclusive IntelStor report, The Future of Renewables. And tickets are on sale now for the next Wind Summit event in Houston, Texas on the 3rd and 4th of November 2026. Visit www.windsummit.org and join hundreds of your industry colleagues to discuss all the latest trends in O&M. We've got speakers and panelists lined up from companies like NextEra, EDPR, EDF, Pattern Energy, ExxonMobil, WEG, and more. So don't miss out. Register today. We hope to see you there.